So raise your hand if you're feeling a little bit tied up in knots lately. Hey friends, it's Pastor Mike from Fellowship Church. Always love to connect with you midweek. Hope you're having a good week. Know that we love you and are praying over you. That thought again, raise your hand if you're feeling a little bit tied up in knots lately. Because if you're like me and a whole lot of other people, you've been watching the events unfold in Europe with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a peaceful democracy, the refugee crisis, the bombing and killing of innocent people. Watching that on the news, honestly, folks, it ties us up in knots, doesn't it? You're probably losing some sleep over it, maybe loss of appetite, and maybe just flat out worried because you're not sure what that means for the future. Well, friends, know that in the Bible there are some psalms written during some really difficult times in people's lives, including during war. If you're familiar with Psalm 46, Psalm 46 is, we believe, a psalm written by David during a time when Israel was being attacked. There were a number of occasions in the Bible when Israel, small country, was being attacked by larger countries who wanted what Israel had, so they were under attack. And Psalm 46, we think, was written when all of the people were shut up in the city of Jerusalem, the doors were barred, gates were shut, and yet those rocks and so on were pounding against the outside of the city. They were under attack. Which is why in Psalm 46 you'll read things like, nations are in an uproar, kingdoms fall, the earth melts. It must have felt like that to them. And yet Psalm 46 has a few great keys for us when we look at the world around us and see wars and rumors of wars. Jesus talked about that as well. This world's a contentious place to live, but that psalm gives us some great ideas. First of all, in that psalm, you'll see a few phrases where it says, God breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. Well, what in the world is all that? Well, friends, in their day, when nations fought a war, or the possibility of a war, when the war was done and there was some kind of a peace treaty, the nations would burn each other's weapons. It was their way of saying that they were taking away the implements for war. So if I break your bow and arrow and you break my bow and arrow, we can no longer be at war with each other, right? We've destroyed the tools for war. Well, that psalm says that God is the one who will break the bow, shatter the spear, burn the shields with fire. Our God is the one who ultimately takes away the implements of war. May He do that in the Middle East in these days. May God be present in that place. Another thought, though, that God says, be still and know that I am God. And that's several times in that psalm. That phrase, be still, it literally means to go slack, or to take all the energy out of something, or to untie a knot. Kind of a different thought there, but when they were going to untie a knot that was difficult to untie, in their words, they would say that they are causing the rope to be still. They've taken the knots out of it. So here's the thought for you today. In the midst of wars, is it possible that God would still be saying to you, I want you to be still because I'm the God who unties the knots. I am the God who's over all things. And here's why. Because God also says in that psalm that He is the Lord Almighty who is with us. The phrase Lord Almighty in their language literally means the God of the armies. So our God is the God who says, I am the God of the armies. Yes, the God of creation. Yes, the God of salvation. I am also the God of the armies, and I am with you. So friends, I don't know what will come out of this war in Europe, Ukraine and Russia. I don't know whether it will spill outside of Europe. I don't know when it'll all be done, but here's what I do know. I know who is ultimately the God of the armies. I know who's ultimately telling us that we can be still, untie the knots, let the rope be slack. Why? We can have peace in our hearts because our God is still in control. He is with us, and may He be with them as well. Friends, may you continue to pray for that as well. We are praying hard for the people in Europe, Ukraine, praying for the hearts of the Russian army as well, and Vladimir Putin. We'll continue to lift all of that before the Lord. But in the meantime, may you be still and know that your God is still with all of us. Have a wonderful week. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.